Hello everyone, I'm TransBeauty, and welcome to part 3 of What If Deku had D&D for a quirk. And since we reached part 3, that means I'll be adding a new what if to the schedule. The new what if will be what if Kimetsu no Yaiba characters were reincarnated into the modern world. I hope you're looking forward to it. Now let's get into the what if. Deku was leaving the school grounds. His injuries were nearly entirely recovered. Wait, Deku! Deku turned around to see Bakugo. He stopped behind Deku. What was that? What do you mean? That stuff! Your quirk could never do that kind of stuff before. It just evolved, I don't know how. Lies! You've got some sort of strength enhancer too. That has nothing to do with luck. How did you do it? I don't know. Bakugo looked like he was about to blow up. The hell you don't know? If you don't tell me, I'll blow your face off. Can you? What? Can you follow through with that threat? Can you blow my face off? Of course I can! Really? Because I already beat you once, and that was when you had those gauntlets. Bakugo was stunned silent. Deku walked away. The next day, Deku was walking to UA when he's stopped by reporters asking what it's like being taught by All Might. I'm sorry, I have to get to class. Deku pushes past them and gets through the gate and to class. In class, Aizawa begins to speak. Alright everyone, I reviewed the footage of the training yesterday. Midoriya, you're showing impressive growth. Keep it up. Yes, Sensei. Bakugo, you have potential, but you underestimate your opponent. You need to work on that. Bakugo gritted his teeth. Now on to the homeroom business. You need to choose a class rep. Everyone immediately began to volunteer. Ida then suggests an election. I don't care how you do it. Aizawa started to get into his sleeping bag. Just decide by the end of the period. He lays down and the voting begins. Deku got 5 votes in this version of events due to having Mineta and Tokoyami as friends. This results in Deku being class rep and Yaoyorozu being vice rep. Later at lunch, Deku isn't sure if he's deserving of the role of class rep. Even though I've been chosen as class rep, I don't know if I'm qualified for it. You are! It'll be fine. Your courage and judgment at critical moments make you worth following. That's why I voted for you. It was you? But didn't you want to be class rep too, Ida? Wanting to do it and being suitable for it are different issues. I merely did what I judged to be correct. You know, I've been wondering, are you a rich boy, Ida? Ida was momentarily caught off guard, and he realized that there was no way out of it. I tried to change how I talk because I didn't want to be called that. Ida then revealed his family history with Deku marveling at it. That was when Deku noticed the holly hairpin that Uraraka was wearing. Oh, Uraraka, the hairpin. It's been good? Yeah. And did you check with the doctor to see if everything was okay? I have an appointment after school today. Great. I wouldn't want to cause you problems. No, it's fine. It's actually really cool. Deku sighs. What a relief. Suddenly, the alarm began to go off. There has been a level 3 security breach. All students, please evacuate outdoors promptly. Everyone started panicking and trying to get out. Words appeared in Deku and Uraraka's views as they were being shoved around. Restrained. Crap, Deku thought. A dexterity save rolled for both Deku and Uraraka. 25. Deku avoided being knocked over. 3. Uraraka was knocked to the ground. Words appeared in her view. Prone. Ida looked out the window to see who was causing the disturbance and saw it to be the media. He tried to yell for everyone to calm down, but was being smashed into the window. Ida turned around and saw his classmates being swept up in the current of people. Uraraka rolled an athletics check to try and get back up. 12. It was barely enough. Ida noticed her. Uraraka! He reached his hand forward. Make me float! Uraraka reached forward and touched Ida's hand, using her quirk on him. He rose into the air, and we see what happened in canon. Later in the classroom, Deku announces something to everyone. I think that Ida Tenya should be the class rep. He was able to get everyone's attention. I think it would be best for Ida to do it. Everyone agrees. However, outside, the UA staff was investigating the destroyed gate. How were ordinary members of the press able to do something like this? Someone instigated this. Did someone evil slip in? Or was it intended to be a declaration of war? The next day, Aizawa was speaking in front of the class. For today's basic training, it's turned into a class with 3 instructors. Me, All Might, and 1 more. Aizawa pulls out a card that says Rescue. Disasters, shipwrecks, and everything in between. Rescue training. You can decide if you want to wear your costume or not this time. On the bus, Uraraka was sitting silent with her eyes closed. What's she doing? Sue asked. If I had to guess, she's swapping out her spells. Her spells? Kirishima asked. Yeah, instead of picking spells and only having those spells, druids get access to their entire spell list, but only a small amount at any given time. Switching spells you have prepared requires different things depending on the class, but for druids, it's intense meditation. Uraraka opened her eyes. Done! Which spells did you switch out? Kirishima asked. I swapped Absorb Elements and Longstrider for Create or Destroy Water and Healing Word. I figured they would come in handy for rescue. Oh, by the way, how'd the doctor's visit go? Everything's alright! What a relief. Man, it's so cool that you can spread your quirks to others. By the way, Midoriya, speaking of your quirk... Yeah? What's with that weird enhancement? It kinda reminds me of All Might. Deku contained his panic. I don't know. I found out about it after the day my quirk evolved in the entrance exam. Maybe it's connected Maybe it's connected. Either way, it would be awesome if you spread it to me. I could get something to make up for my quirk not being very flashy. I think it's cool. Furthermore, you should never underestimate how useful something like that can be. In Dungeons and Dragons, just a little bit can make all the difference. Yeah, but you also have to think about popularity, too. Todoroki and Bakugo have some pretty flashy quirks. Bakugo's always mad, so he doesn't seem like he'll be popular, though. You wanna fight?! See? We're here. Stop messing around. At the front gate, everyone meets 13 and is brought into the large dome in front of them. Wow, it looks like Universal Studios Japan! A shipwreck, a landstorm, a fire, a windstorm, etc. It's a training ground that I'm made with different types of accidents and disasters. It's called the Unforeseen Simulation Joint, or USJ! Everyone's faces went blank. Aizawa asked where All Might was, and 13 explained. It can't be helped. We'll do without. 13 began her speech about the dangers of misusing quirks. Everyone clapped for her speech, when the lights began to dim, a black portal began to appear in the middle of the USJ. Aizawa turned to the portal. Villains began to exit the portal. Gather together and don't move. 13. Protect the students. Those are villains. 13. Start the evacuation. I'm leaving it to you. Aizawa jumped into the fray and started to take out villains. The students began to run for the door, but a smoky darkness rose out of the ground, forming Kurogiri. Pleased to meet you. We are the League of Villains. It may be presumptuous of us, but we have invited ourselves in to kill All Might, the symbol of peace. I believe All Might was supposed to be here. Has there been some kind of change? Bakugo and Kirishima charged in to attack Kurogiri, but their attacks did nothing. Oh dear, how dangerous. That's right, even if you are students, you are golden eggs. Kurogiri spread a portal underneath everyone. Deku and Uraraka made deck saves. Now, I understand pausing the story like this is jarring, but I would like to bring something up. Up until I was writing the script for this part, something had slipped my mind. The possibility of Deku saving and staying with the rest of the group. Fear began to enter my mind. If he saves, I will have to do a lot of work, as he will spread dice, his quirk, to everyone who also didn't get sucked into the portal. And doesn't already have it. Don't know if Uraraka will save either. But I know I have to do a few things. First, I need to figure out what Kurogiri's save DC is. Then, I need to do the ever-terrifying roll. So, Kurogiri's save DC. The way I've been basing Quirk save DCs is by using Constitution modifiers, except in excluded cases like with Bakugo. So that begs the question of, what is Kurogiri's Constitution? After a while, I figured his Constitution is 13, meaning a +1 modifier. Thus, Kurogiri's save DC is 11. Deku gets a +5 to dexterity saves, meaning if the natural roll is a 6 or higher, which there is a 75% chance of, lots of work for me. Alright, I'm about to do the roll. Wish me luck. Yes! Oh wait, I have to roll for Uraraka as well. Deku's total roll was 10, and Uraraka's 12. So, it's the same as canon. Deku was sucked into the portal while Uraraka and some other classmates avoided being sucked in. Deku found himself over a large pool of water. He landed in the water and started swimming up as fast as he could. He then noticed a shark-like villain coming for him. Crap! My attacks are made at disadvantage underwater. With being underwater, having my speed retreating isn't really an option either. When the villain was about to attack him, Tsu kicked it away and pulled Deku up to the boat, then Mineta. Thanks, Tsu. No problem. This has turned into a bad situation, though. Yeah, what that villain said earlier. They know UA's schedule. But it's not like they can kill All Might. Once All Might comes in, he'll pound those guys. Mineta, don't you think they are trying so hard because they have a way to kill him? I wonder if we'll be able to hold out until All Might arrives. Even if All Might comes, I wonder if we will all make it out in one piece. Mineta started to panic. Midoriya! Oh, man. I'm trying to switch up the voice to be more accurate to the Japanese voice actor, but it's kind of hard. Midoriya! 1 second. Midoriya, spread your quirk to me! What? If you spread your quirk to me, I can become a halfling and have the lucky feature to help my chances. I'm not spreading my quirk to you. Why? 1, because I can't entirely control when I spread it. 2, because I know that you'll choose Bard, and after all this is over, you'll turn the whole school into your personal harem. You don't know that? Yes, I do. You always play that kind of Bard. I won't seduce anyone in school. I promise. Fine. As soon as I can spread it to you, I will. As if on cue, words appeared in Deku's view. Add Mineta to the party? Yes. No. Add Sue to the party? Yes. No. Wait, already? Maybe I have more control over it than I thought. Wait, really? Deku selected yes for Mineta. Mineta started as soon as the confirmation that it happened appeared in his view. What about you, Tsu? I don't really get it, but I'll gladly accept if it can help. Deku selected yes. Back with those who avoided being sucked into the portal, Shoji confirmed that everyone was okay. Everyone took a sigh of relief. 13 turned to Ida. Class rep. Yes? I entrust this duty to you. Run to the school and tell them about what's happening here. But it would be a disgrace as class rep to leave everyone behind. Go, emergency exit! Sato stepped forward. If you can get outside, there are alarms. That's why these guys are only doing this inside, right? Uraraka held her chest. If she didn't switch out her spells, she could have cast Longstrider on Ida to give him a better chance. She swallowed her fear. You can do it, Ida! Uraraka saw initiative roll in her vision. 20. She would be one of the first to go. Are there really idiots that talk about their of the enemy? Kurogiri charged forward and 13 began sucking him in with her quirk. Uraraka charged forward. If she could touch Kurogiri and make him float, Ida would have a straight shot. Wait, Midoriya, what do you mean fight? Mineta panicked, now having a lute on his back. Right now I'm level 6, plus we all have our quirks. I have a lot of attacks per area of effect, and Mineta's quirk has a lot of utility. I'm sure we can think of something. Those guys are actual villains, and the action economy is out of our favor. Plus, they might be able to kill All Might, and you want to fight them? The best plan is to sit here and wait for help. Mineta, those guys are assuming we'll fight in the water. For people who gathered intel so meticulously, there's something strange. Tsu, they sent you to the Shipwreck zone. They turned to Tsu, who now had blue skin, flap-like protrusions on her back, and had a cross in one hand. So? The villains probably don't know what our quirks are. That's true. If they knew I was a frog, they would have probably put me in that fire zone over there. They probably separated us because they don't know our quirks. We have inferior numbers and less experience. If we're going to beat them, we have to take advantage of the fact that they don't know what our quirks are. The group began to inform each other about their quirks. Aside from my base quirk, I also have a form of super strength, but the force is so strong and I end up breaking my bones. When that happens, I roll a concentration check. If I fail, I'm stunned for the rest of my turn. And regardless, I get disadvantage when using that part of my body until it's healed. Wait a minute, Midoriya! What is it? Your wings unfurled feature. If you use it, you get spectral wings. They don't have bones! Deku was surprised. You're right, I'm sure we can use that. In Netsu's view, he saw him figuring that out gave him inspiration. A hand of water hit the boat, slicing it in half. In a panic, Mineta started throwing his balls into the water. Leave us alone! And you! He pointed at the villain that attacked the boat. Your butt ugly face isn't doing anything for my nerves! What was that stupid insult? Hey, pay attention! The villains avoided Mineta's balls the best they could. Mineta couldn't stop panicking, and the fact that the villain with the water hand saved against his vicious mockery didn't help. Calm down, Mineta. How many times have we played heroes that have beaten the odds? Mineta looked at Deku through tears. We can do this. I have a plan. Initiative rolled. 16 for Deku, 7 for Mineta, 6 for Tsu. Moments later, Deku stepped up to the boat and screamed. He rolled intimidation. 14. Some of the villains were scared, some weren't. The villains all prepared their attacks. Mineta started strumming on his lute, then touched Deku's arm, giving him bardic inspiration die and casting heroism on him. Tsu held her new cross and cast Shield of Faith on Deku. He used wings unfurled and jumped off the boat. Wings? That's all this kid has? This'll be easy. Deku screamed from the bottom of his heart. Montana Smash! He used his bonus action to activate One for All in his wings and flapped down as fast as he could. The force knocked a whirlpool into the water. The villains did their best to keep from being swallowed. Tsu used her held action too. She jumped with Mineta on her back and catched Deku, as Mineta began to throw as many of his balls into the water as he could, totaling up to 26. The villains were stuck together as the water converged, and Tsu used her new protrusions to calmly glide the group out of there. As each of them gained 2,400 XP from the encounter, Mineta and Tsu both reaching level 3, and they landed as Tsu took care of everything with their level ups. The three arrived at the central plaza to see how things were going. Aizawa was fighting Shigaraki, who managed to grab his elbow, which started to decay. He broke away and started holding off other villains. However, the Nomu snuck up on him. It grabbed him and started bashing his head into the ground. Back with 13's group, she was continuing to suck in Kurogiri, but then he opened a portal behind her, and she started sucking in herself. Ida started running and got past Kurogiri. A portal opened and Ida was about to head into it, but Shoji caught it. Uraraka started running towards Kurogiri. She touched the solid part of him and used her quirk. However, he easily passed. Was that your attempt to stop me? Uraraka panicked. She turned to 13. She still had a bonus action. She could help her. Healing word! It wouldn't help as much as cure wounds, but she had to do something. The D4 rolled a 3, resulting in a total of 7. 13's wounds began to close up, but not by much. Ida was trying to open the door, but Kurogiri charged him. Sero made tape, blocking him from doing so. Uraraka's attempt to make him float may not have worked, but it exposed his weak spot. Sato pulled on the tape to hold back the shadowy villain. Ida got out the door and started running. Meanwhile, Nomu had just broken Aizawa's arm. He attempted to erase Nomu's quirk, but it didn't hinder his strength at all. The Nomu grabbed Aizawa's head and slammed it into the ground. The three watching stared in horror. Heroism and Shield of Faith had worn off at this point, as a minute had passed. Kurogiri appeared next to Shigaraki. They started a conversation the three couldn't hear. Shigaraki started scratching his neck. He stopped. Moments later, he charged the three. Initiative was rolled. Deku got a 7, Mineta a 4, and Tsu a 6. Shigaraki's hand was heading straight for Tsu's face. An image of Tsu decaying came into Deku's mind, but when Shigaraki's hand made contact, nothing happened. You really are cool. Eraserhead. Aizawa is using his quirk on Shigaraki despite the Nomu pummeling him. Deku was next on the initiative order. Deku reeled back his fist and used his bonus action to activate One for All in his arm. He realized he controlled it perfectly. It didn't matter for now. He had to stop them. He threw his fist forward and added the bardic inspiration die from Mineta. It all put together resulted in a total of 25. Smash! It hit square on. Deku realized his arm wasn't broken. He looked up and saw that something had taken the hit instead of Shigaraki, the Nomu. The damage dice rolled. It was a 1, but with one for all, it still did 8 damage. Except... resisted. Those were the words that appeared in Deku's view. The damage was halved. Deku realized this is why the villains were so confident. Your smash. Are you a follower of All Might's? Well, I'm done with you. The Nomu grabbed Deku's arm and they rolled opposing athletics checks. Deku failed. Tsu panicked and used a random ability. She didn't even look at the name. The Nomu rolled a 2 on its save. It dropped Deku and started running away. Nomu, where are you going? Tsu, what did you do? I didn't look. I just did the first thing I saw. Let me check. Turn undead? Deku and Mineta's faces went pale. But if turn undead actually worked on that thing, then that means that thing is undead. Actual, real undead. Shigaraki scowled at the three. You brats! Ah, whole person! Shigaraki felt a tug that tried to stop him from moving, but it didn't impede him. He lunged forward and the doors burst open. All Might walked in. Everyone was relieved at his arrival, except for Shigaraki, who just wanted to kill him. He charged forward and took out villains left and right. He got to Aizawa and picked him up. He pulled Izuku, Mineta, and Tsu away from Shigaraki. Go to the entrance. I'm leaving Aizawa to you. He's unconscious. Hurry! Nomu walked out of one of the zones that it was in after tripping, and thus being released from the turn undead. It looks like you're back to normal. Nomu, attack! All Might, be careful! That creature has resistance to bludgeoning damage! Young Midoriya, it's fine. Midoriya, Tsu, and Mineta laughed, and they saw that they got XP from surviving the altercation, but it was half because they didn't win. Mineta and Tsu were now level 4. They took care of it as Izuku carried Aizawa. Once Tsu was finished, she cast Cure Wounds on him. What happened? Stay still, Sensei. You're still hurt. We see the same fight we saw in canon, with All Might and the Nomu trading blows. Then, after All Might attempted a suplex, he was trapped by Kurogiri. Tsu, what is it? I'm going to help him. Hold Aizawa-sensei. Midoriya, stop, Aizawa said. Get to the doors. I'm sorry, sensei. Deku gives Aizawa to Tsu. Midoriya, stop right there. Midoriya took off running. I'll push myself to the max I can. Midoriya channeled 12% of One For All into his legs, taking his speed from 45 feet to 211 feet. All Might! He ran to All Might and prepared to attack. His crop jacket turned red. Breath of the Red Dragon! He blew a cone of fire into the warp gate, hitting Nomu and Kurogiri, who both passed. They each took 4 fire damage. Not much. Kurogiri opened a portal beneath Deku. Suddenly, Bakugo came out of nowhere and blew up Kurogiri. You're in the way, Deku! Session XP Summary. Midoriya, Deku, Izuku. 4,367 XP. Uraraka, Ochako. 421 XP. 1 level up. Mineta Minoru. 4,367 XP. 3 level ups. Asui Tsuyu. 4,367 XP. 3 level ups. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed part 3 of What If Deku Had D&D for a Quirk. I feel like I did well with this one. I wanted to finish up the USJ arc in this part, but I didn't have the page space, so we'll finish it next time. If you're confused as to where Uraraka got the 421 XP, she got it from surviving the altercation with Kurogiri. The way I'm doing it is that if you survive an altercation but don't win, you still get XP, but it's halved. Anyway, yeah, she leveled up and used everything she had except one emergency first level spell slot to heal 13. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. 15 likes for part 4. Mata tare!